How did I get into this life? Welcome to an adventure in the Nordic archipelago. Today I'll share a story of freedom as I show you the beautiful nature of Finland. We're heading out early in the morning with my small rowing boat that my father bought to me ages ago for about $10. Isn't that crazy? Only $10 for such freedom. I had this boat back when I was a little kid. Went on my first solo fishing journey when I was 12 years old. I was always the shy kid and didn't know what I wanted. I felt lost yet strong. I had an excessive drive to create, build, and live on my own terms. I loved nature, but had no direction. I think that's the reason this channel even started. I've always had a dislike for the modern, boring life. I'm not talking about the good things that modernity and innovation bring. I mean the noisy, dirty cities, the domesticated life where most men cannot find real challenges and experience raw life. Everything is restricted, everything requires a permit, everything is taxed to oblivion. If you try to live a genuine but humble life, you will end up swept away. If I had just pursued my career and kept studying something everybody else thought was great, I would now be nearing the end of my life. That is the spiritual death, when I would have spent so long living in an illusion according to somebody else's design that I do become disconnected from my soul, detached from my own ideals, my needs, and my ambition. Luckily, I was awakened by an impulse of courage and learned what I must do to break free. Without anything substantial to back it up, I left my old life in the city behind and started creating something I love. Art, building my body in the gym, rejecting the norms of weakness and terrible health. Eventually, I found myself back at the roots of my being, nature. Living free and unrestricted, enjoying the raw forces of nature, and finding health beyond the mere physical. I said to myself, what if I could become that strong and independent man? Muscular, disciplined, courageous, and with axe in hand, conquering nature and showing how it's done. Inspiring millions to get out there and reconnect not only with nature, but with the warrior spirit, the calling to reach higher, to put aside all distractions and pursue the highest ideals, the highest goals your mind can conceive. Ask yourself, is this what I want? Is this truly my passion? Do I absolutely love this job? Do I see the greatest future for myself in this career, and can I remain dependent on my government? Am I happy with my health and energy levels? If all of these questions are not a definitive yes for you personally, maybe it is a good time to consider what you really want from life. This part of you is your root chakra. Knowing what you want, knowing what you hate or dislike, knowing what your passion is. If you go against this part of you, neglecting your greatest source of energy and lust for life, you will suffocate yourself and slowly kill your soul and become numb. I've seen it in myself, in my family, and pretty much in everyone. Surprisingly, most people have no clue what they want. We are too focused on what other people want. We are focused on what society wants from us, and we twist our standards and wishes to fit something that is not ourselves. Or even worse, we end up living in a false reality that is ruled by sinister forces. Personally, I know that 90% of the population of the entire world are running an external program. They are living in a dark and foggy illusion that leads humanity away from freedom, health, and happiness. Do not fall into this trap. Find yourself. Find what you really should be doing. I'm not talking about just having fun, but about building a lifestyle that aligns with all your values and goals. a path that makes you a powerful and free man. It must lead both to your financial, physical, and mental liberation. If not, you're not connected to reality. Let's get back to this story soon. Now it's time to cook the fish I caught. I've just set up my primitive fireplace and will ignite the dry grass with my flint and steel. I love the simplicity of this and understand that I could have a pretty good life even if I had less money or resources. Just so you know, I'm not living in the forest. I have a house I built myself. I travel and usually go to the gym or stores in the city. This is just the wild extension of my life I'm showing. That said, I know that I could lose almost everything and still be pretty free. If I have a bike, tent, and frying pan, I could live off $300 a month until I figure out how to make more money again. Most people would suffer from this, but if you're watching this, you might be like me. You would enjoy the thrill of adventure and the real sense of survival. Calculating resources, optimizing, improving your setup for sleeping, etc., etc. If you take away housing costs, life is surprisingly cheap, and you can have almost everything you need if you're resourceful. The only challenge would be winter up here in the north. Today's meal is this wonderful perch, a few pieces of cheese, and plenty of lemon berries. It's a pretty powerful meal with a lot of protein, but it needs some more carbs for sure, especially because I want to have a lot of energy out here in the wilderness. Back to the topic of becoming free. How can we actually do it? If you're anything like me, you already know how to be healthy, you know how to eat, you know you need to be training or being active, you know that you should be improving your income or building your business, but you're not. That's what held me back. Inaction. I was too distracted and afraid to actually do what I wanted to be doing. I made up weak-ass excuses that I told myself to cover up for my lack of spirit. Here's a funny thing I used to tell myself. I'm not gonna train yet. I'm not gonna eat the healthiest food yet because it's gonna be too expensive. I did not even buy a gym membership. All of that was only fear. Fear of losing money and not believing in my own journey. I was lacking the spirit and courage. The adventure of life starts when you make a radical change in your life and make every hour of the day count. You do this without having enough money, without any motivation or friends to follow you along the path to greatness. You do it regardless and step into the unknown because you are certain that you have a purpose. Whatever that purpose may be, I'm 100% sure that it does not involve your life staying the same. Stagnation, the enemy of growth. Your life on loop, repeating the same mistakes and same habits as your youth and time fades. This is the real enemy. If you can defeat this enemy and overcome the fear limiting you, that's when life starts to flourish and you will find your freedom and see the beauty of life. Beautiful is also my shelter. I've now successfully set up my lightweight survival tarp onto the shelter I built from dead tree trunks. I'll try the comfort of my sleeping setup. Just a thin camping mattress and my sheepskin. I love the natural simplicity of wool. This is pretty close to what I have at home. I just have a ton of wool underneath me, and that's super comfortable. Next, I'm gonna improve my shelter for the night and build a wall. I saw some old planks nearby that are gonna be perfect. I'm building a pretty rainproof wall from these planks. There will still be a lot of wind coming through all the gaps of my shelter, but that's something I like. Sometimes I actually prefer sleeping completely in the open, with fresh air sweeping over me, only a sleeping bag and a mattress. It makes wilderness camping even more simple and down to earth. But of course, it's gonna be colder and it's not a good idea if there's rain or snow coming down. Soon enough, my shelter is complete, ready for the night. I prepare the fire once again and make myself some tea and relax in the wonderful evening. I have a book with me, Carlos Castaneda. It's a real-life story of a modern and rational anthropology student heading out to the wilderness and rural areas to learn more about the Native Americans. Due to some odd events, he ends up becoming an apprentice of a Mexican shaman, a Toltec, much likely a descendant from the ancient lineage, taking us all the way back to the legends of Atlantis and Hyperborea. Anyway, in these tellings, the very rational and scientific Western student is introduced to a whole new world of mystery and beauty. He steps on the path of the warrior for the purpose of unlocking the secrets within himself, the secrets of the universe. It's a fascinating read that I've learned a lot from. The ancient knowledge passed forward has inspired me to embrace a more harsh discipline and a love for the wonders of life. It has made it clear for me that there is more to life than meets the eye. I must pursue a path of excellence. There's something beyond the physical realm, and even something superior to the gods. Anyway, it's up for you to decide if all of this is real or fiction. Good night. The next morning, I wake up well rested, fully grounded. It is still very early and the brilliant sun is rising. I get the fire going, make myself warm, and cook a hearty breakfast of eggs. I'm gonna try to eat as many eggs as possible as an attempt to raise my blood cholesterol. Unfortunately, that ain't gonna happen. That also is an illusion, my friend. Eggs are my favorites, and it's funny to think that once I believed that they could potentially cause health problems. Saturated and animal fats are amazing, especially if you want to have high testosterone and hormonal balance. It is now time to pack my things up and head to the boat. I'm gonna do a bit more fishing today before heading back. If you're interested in learning the methods and ethos of the hero who breaks free, I just wrote a few books about embracing a powerful life. One is for free, where I explain everything I'd tell my younger self in 3 pages. Find it in the descriptions below. Thanks for watching, see you in the next video.